Hi everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into a report from Steele Capital Corporation. And let me tell you, there are a couple of interesting things in there that you might not expect from just looking at the name, including something that might make you question if they know how math works. This report mainly addresses a recent equity sale and the results of their annual stockholder meeting. We'll break down who got elected, what the stockholders voted on, and most importantly, the details of that stock sale, including some missing information that will be added in a later update. If you find value in understanding these kinds of corporate insights, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to join our Discord community. The link is in the description below. Scrollers of report, date of earliest event reported, 10th to July 1, 2025 scroll. Seeing this report is called a current report and it covers events that happened on July 1, 2025. This is the date when some important things took place, like the sale of company stock and their annual meeting. One of the key highlights of the report is the sale of what's called equity securities. Equity securities are just a fancy way of saying shares of the company's stock, and this report talks about selling company stock without registering it with the Securities and Exchange Commission. It's a way to raise money but has specific rules to follow. According to the filing on July 1 of 2025, Steele Capital sold stock worth approximately $55,244. According to the filing on July, Steele Capital sold stock worth approximately $65,244 is the sale of what approximately $655,244.45. Steele Capital sold stock worth approximately $655,244. Crow common stock to be issued scroll flower. Here is where it gets interesting. The report says they sold this stock, but the exact number of shares is to be determined based on the net asset value per share. This value will be determined within 2 business days of the initial sale date. Now it is normal for the price to be unknown, but there is even no indication of the number of share being sold. The company says they will update the filing later with the exact details like the price per share and the total number of shares sold. The sale of these shares was done through subscription agreements. These are basically contracts between the company and its investors. The investors agree to pay a certain amount of money to buy the company's stock, and like they wrote here, the investors already paid the money at the time they subscribed. Scroll pursuant to Section 4A, 2 thereof, and 2 thereof in Scroll C. The company claims that selling these shares doesn't require all the usual registrations with the Securities and Exchange Commission, thanks to something called Section 4I, 222 and Regulation D. Basically, these rules allow companies to sell stock privately without all the usual public offering paperwork, so long as they meet certain conditions. Now let's switch gears and talk about the other main event from this report, the annual meeting of stockholders, where shareholders get to vote on important company matters. This year's meeting happened on July 1 of 2025. To be eligible to vote, you had to be a stockholder of record by April of 2025, meaning you had to own shares by then. On that date, the company had a little over 6 million shares of common stock issued and available to vote. According to the report, the company provided the details on these proposals in the proxy statement that they filed with the Securities and Exchange Commission in April. Now let us review the results. Scroll, the company's stockholders elected the following class 3 directors. Scroll first up. The stockholders voted to elect some directors. They selected the Class 3 directors who will serve until the annual meeting in 2028. Directors are like the managers or supervisors for the company, and these people will make big decisions for the next few years. The voting results for Christopher Ryan ended up with approximately 3.4 million votes for. William Hayes got roughly 3.4 million votes for and about 9,000 votes abstained. Finally, there was a vote to approve the company's choice of accounting firm. They wanted to keep Grant Thorntonell as their independent registered public accounting firm for the year that ends on December 31, 2025. Having a good accounting firm is super important because they check the company's financial records to make sure everything is accurate. And the shareholders voted to say yes with over 3.4 million votes in favour to. So what's the bottom line here? What can we learn from this report? And what might it mean for the future of Steele Capital Corporation? Keep in mind, this is just an opinion and I have not done in-depth research for this video. Steele Capital Corporation seems to be moving ahead with its plans. The stock sales indicate that they are working to raise capital likely to be used in new business ventures, and the results from the stockholders suggest the voters trust the direction that company is going. The thing that makes me cautious looking at this filing is how the unregistered sale was written. What's interesting here is the "we'll figure it out later" approach to the share price, and number of shares sold. Usually these things are ironed out before the transaction, not after. The whole situation has the whiff of putting the cart before the horse. It is not the end of the world, but makes me question the confidence I have in the company to get all the I's and cross the T's. Overall, the company seems to be moving forward, but only time will tell how these moves play out in the long run. Are they building something sustainable based on new money? Or is this just a temporary fix? What will be reported in the next filling? Alright, that's our breakdown of Steel Creek Capital's latest filing. What do you think about the unregistered stock sold? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.